So, good afternoon, everyone. Today we have a lovely couple here with us. I have met them online already twice because they had separate sessions with us, and they talked a lot about Australia, even if they are Brazilians. They are residing in Brazil at the moment. Please introduce yourself to us, and then we can start with the round of questions. And welcome.
Okay,
Thank
thank
you.
you. Thank you
Ladies
for having
first.
us. So I'm Meg. I was born here in São Paulo, where we are living now. Um, I met Vlad 10 years ago, 11 years ago, and we decided together to go to Australia. So we got married on a Saturday, and on Tuesday, next Tuesday, we were heading to Australia, and you lived there for 8 years. So you just returned months ago, and we are now in São Paulo, just passing by, going to another place. But yeah, this time we are in São Paulo after 8 years in Australia.
So she made my life easier. Some Vlad, Meg's husband.
Yeah, he's my husband.
That's it. Yes, also born in São Paulo, and yeah, as she said, we are kind of passing by for São Paulo for many reasons. One of those, like, we kind of lost the lifestyle that we are used to in São Paulo. We grew up in São Paulo, was easy for us. Now it's kind of my goodness, what are we doing? What are we doing here? So the only reason it's because we have family here. So that's
The only reason.
the why. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why. But yeah.
Before going to Australia, I worked as a project manager here in Brazil, um, in a global company, and this kind of lifestyle also doesn't fit anymore. For me, it's just hard. Now we are working as business consulting with our own office. We just bought a franchising, a franchising in consultant. So we are using our previous skills to build a new career here,
That's it.
but in a different way. We work remotely now. So, and this gives us the freedom to move where we want to.
Kind of, yeah.
So just to give a bit of background.
All right, thank you. Adriana is already ready with the questions, so go ahead, please.
Yeah. Hey guys, how are y'all? Is everything all right?
Good.
Thank you, Maggie,
Good.
Vlad. Tell us a little bit more about this thing about meeting together like 10 years ago and have the same plans. Like, what a coincidence, you know? Did you guys have the same plan before meeting? Like, how this happened? Like, oh, okay, you guys met, and then suddenly you guys had this idea. Okay, let's move out. And how? Tell us a little bit about this idea moving
Can
from
I say?
Brazil.
Yeah.
Okay, I had the plans to go to Australia since 2011. Actually, I checked my budget and I saw that was impossible at that stage because Australia is really an expensive country. The currency is dollar, is Australian dollar. It's not as expensive as the American dollar, but it is still, for example, now is 3.7 or so. Comparing to our currency here in Brazil. So I had to plan ahead. So I was single at that time, divorced actually, and then I was planning to do something. I wanted to do kind of interchange since I was young, and I could never do it. I was always committed to my job and doing a lot, working a lot. So I had that plan since 2011, and I was kind of planning how to do that. When we met, I told Vlad about it, and I said to him, "Oh, when I leave my job, or when they dismiss me, I can really go to Australia because I need that money that they pay me to go." But then yeah, we had this start dating, and when we were dating for 1.5 year, maybe finally I got dismissed. This is what I wanted. I was working that company for 20 years. I
Wow.
didn't want to work there anymore. But you guys that work in Brazil, you know how things happen. If you quit, we don't have much money, but if they
Mhm.
dismiss you, you got more
Yeah.
money,
Hmm.
right? You get more
Yeah.
money.
Uh-huh.
So I needed that. I need to be dismissed. And
Uh-huh.
after 20 years, finally, I get that joy of being dismissed. I was so happy. And then when I came home, and I called Vlad straight away. And when I came home, I said, okay, now I have freedom. Now I can do what I want. But I was like, okay, but what do I do with Vlad? Because I really love him, and I think he's the person that I want to be with. And what do I do now? So I was super happy, but at the same time, I was like, I need to make a choice, and this is not easy.
Mhm.
So I had this conversation with him. Now I will live for his
Yeah.
story.
And I will start saying that there is a friend that his life doesn't care about your plans.
Yeah,
Because you have your plans, but you have to consider all the variables,
circumstances.
like
Yeah.
every circumstance. I got two kids, so by the time my son was 14 to 15 years old, and my daughter was already engaged, so that wasn't a problem. But and the plan was, we weren't planning to go and stay for 8 years. We are planning to be there for 6 months. That was
Wow.
the plan. So that's
But you didn't tell them it wasn't your plan. It was
oh yeah, it wasn't my plan.
Yeah.
how did you get convinced?
Ah,
Because I
the
love
the
you. That's
plan
the thing.
the plan to
Yeah.
stay there longer, it was your plan, Vlad, not
Yeah,
Max.
Actually,
but
yes.
what was great actually, I also was in a company that I was working for 23 years, and I so they that was the harder part because they didn't want to let me go, so I had to negotiate, and it was a very hard negotiation. The guy was still waiting for me after 3 years. So
Yeah.
I think by now he
He know,
gave up, but yeah. But anyway, so we talk to our families, and we consider all everything, put everything on the table, and okay, so let's go. It's gonna be a great experience and learn another English. I had no English at all, so it was very hard at the
Really?
beginning.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah, it was.
but as he said, the plan was to go there, study English for 6 months, and
Mm-hmm.
return.
Yeah,
This was the plan. 1 month, additional month for holidays, so 7 months in total. We talked to our families and his son, especially, and his son said, "Okay, you just go, and then one day you take me with you as well."
yeah.
He was okay, but the problem is after 6 months, we said, "We don't have English enough.
The English wasn't good enough. Yeah.
It wasn't good enough. We are studying from, I don't know, 8:30 in the morning to 3 p.m.
Every
Wow.
single day. Oh,
But then,
Monday to Friday. Yeah.
yeah, and then we consider everything, the lifestyle in Australia, and they said, let's stay a little longer.
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
yeah,
because
we decided.
we plan ahead. We didn't decide after 6 months. Oh, now we're gonna stay longer. No, we are like during the
The period.
yeah, as the time was passing by. We're like, oh, I don't think we're gonna make it to come back to Brazil and have English, like a
Enough.
good English to work in a company and say, hey, yeah, we can't speak English. We're like, no, we still can't speak a good English, even though we were in a very good university, like one of the best. We had a chance to study there,
There, yeah,
so wasn't the problem wasn't the quality of
the course.
the course. It was our oh, it's just because it's not the way. It's like it's not. It's not easy. So we since the beginning we decided to be part of the community. So we start to attend a church that was close to our home. So we are like little by little make friends and be like not be always with Brazilians because that the
Yeah.
most people struggle to learn English that they just talk Portuguese all the time. So that's
Yeah. And the fact that we are a Brazilian couple, it's hard because we speak English while you are in studying, while you are in class. And then when every time we left the class, we turn to Portuguese.
You're
And
back.
we tried hard. We tried to speak in English at home.
was
And
so
then
weird, like talking English
there
to
was
each
always
other.
a word missing, and we didn't know how to complete the sentences, and we just gave up because we were so tired of studying the whole day. And
But that's the thing. Like I think from that experience, that the most we can take out of it is that people we had it. We are very lucky to have people around us, like co-works, community that was always so helpful. Like, you don't know that word means that. And they are kind of get an iPad and showing, that's the word you are looking for. And like was always someone helping us around was good. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was really great because you are a couple that can say like, "Oh, living abroad like improved our English." So we learned from living abroad. Like living abroad play an important role in your
Yes.
lives because your English guys are perfect. And but before going there, Vlad and Maggie, you guys didn't know like anything about English. It was like you were you didn't know or you
I
had
did.
some.
Oh, she.
I had
Yeah.
studied many years. I started and stopped many times. This is the truth. So and the way that the traditional schools do in Brazil, you learn a lot of grammar and then we start speaking just at the end, right? So I was studying, my grammar wasn't bad, it was really good actually. But because of work commitments, I was always stopping because there was a time that I was traveling a lot from my work, so I could never complete the courses that I was doing here. So I started in many different schools and with private teachers, and I never progressed enough. So this is the reason why I wanted to go to an English speaker country and have the experience of staying with them and living the culture and everything and really learn English in a daily basis. So, but it was horrible when we arrived in Australia and I said, okay, I studied so many years, I spent so much money. What is my English? I cannot speak, right? So, and
Takes
this
time.
is the thing, even staying at school, we were doing really well at school there. But 3 p.m. when I left the class and take a bus or anything, we could never understand what they were saying
Yeah,
because we feel that Australian accent is really strong, it's
yeah,
different. We
different
are more used to the
Americans.
North American accent and
Yeah.
everything. And actually, we watched the video of that couple that stayed with you guys 2 days ago or this week. Nathan and I forgot her name. So we are watching their video and they were talking about, our accent is not strong. Our accent is, but it's really noticeable. It's different, right?
Yeah.
And I was telling Vlad, so I was missing that accent actually.
Yeah,
It was a
it was
pleasure
so good to hear
to watch
that.
them.
Yeah,
It was such a pleasure.
yeah, I found out. I love that.
It was so good. Like we were missing that accent, but
Yeah.
it is, and they speak super fast, and they really cut the words and they mix the word together, and it's hard. So staying in a public place or whatever, talking to a native Australian, it was really hard for us.
Yeah.
So we were always struggling. I said, "Oh, I cannot believe you are studying so hard, and when we are out of school, we cannot understand what they're saying." So yeah, it
Yeah.
was a big.
As you guys is an example of how to learn English living abroad, which advice would you guys give for those who want to leave Brazil and to go
To
abroad to learn a language like English?
Oh,
wow.
it's
I
so many actually, because first of all, plan ahead. Like save money because you don't know when you're gonna be able to work, what kind of work you're gonna find,
yeah,
and like mingle, like be with the
the
dude.
community.
Like here in São Paulo, before we leave, we are in a big church. We are in a choir. We are singers. So we are doing some volunteer work. So we kind of try to do the same at that. So it was good because we are
It helped
very
us.
quick. We were involved with the community in a church, learn, and then after that, the learning curve, like
Yeah,
it was,
helped a lot.
yeah, was just improving.
After a while, we were participating in everything in that community. We were singing with them,
Yeah,
and it happened a lot for us to lapidate the words, because we had the lyrics and you could learn the songs and sing with
Great.
them there.
well,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was nice.
Every single experience gonna help you to learn. You are learn all the time. That's the thing. So be open to learn,
Yeah.
and yeah,
I
it's so many things. Like be kind to people, be humble, and
understand their culture because it's
yeah,
just different.
don't
So,
try to push your culture on the other
Yeah.
people. That's
yeah.
because they will ask for. They first time we introduce them the picanha, they will love it. They will ask for it. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Don't force. It's gonna happen. Don't force.
And I think this
Okay.
is what Vlad said about work. It's really important. For example, for us, Australia allow you to, as a student, you can work 20 hours a week in that time. Now it's 24, but it was 20 hours a week. But because we were studying in the morning, it was hard to find jobs at night time. So the only way that you can work at night is if you are working as a waitress,
Hospitality. Yeah.
hospitality, but you need to have the language good.
Yeah.
And then they don't want you to work there if you
Mm-hmm.
cannot speak English. So it was hard for us. I think we spent like 3 months to find like a regular job. So during 3 months, we are spending our money from Brazil,
Mm.
and this makes more expensive the experience because,
Yeah.
as I was saying, there is a big difference with the currency.
Yeah, the other thing, play by the book. So that's the rules. So to go, I'm talking about Australia, but most of countries they use similar rules for immigration. Like if you want to study or work abroad, so you're gonna prove to them that you have some reserves, you have some savings on your bank account, so that's gonna pay for your bills when you're there. You're not gonna struggle financially. So that's the thing. Play by the book. Don't try to be clever. You're gonna be in trouble. And you see right now some people come back in airplanes with handcuffs and stuff like
Yeah.
that because they don't play by the rules. So that's the simple thing. Play by
Yeah.
the rules. Don't try to be clever. You're gonna be in trouble. Yeah.
Okay, guys. Thank you so much. Okay.
All
Thank
right,
you.
Vinny, he's ready with a question as well.
All right. You spoke a lot now. I'm thinking of that question.
Most
And then I
probably
think,
they answered your question already.
no, yes.
You don't have a question
lot of it.
anymore.
No, but my question now is very simple that came to my mind is your names. You don't have Brazilian names like Vinicius,
All
Marcos,
right.
etc. I
I
would like
didn't
to
get it.
ask, what is
Your
your full
name,
name?
my name.
You
Ah,
have, yes, like I have never met a Vlad, and it reminds me of a Vladimir. It's a Russian
That's
name, and
it. Yeah, that's
Maggie. I've never met a Mag. Never. So,
Good question.
Okay.
Yeah.
Vladimir.
You're first.
Me first?
Yeah.
I am not Meg, don't tell it. My real name is Marli. Marli, like
that's
many
Brazilian.
Brazilians. This is Brazilian. When you are abroad, they cannot say Marli. They will try to say Marley, or they will ask you how to pronounce your name, right? So before Australia, I had another international experience. I was 1 month in Malta. In Malta, when I went to Malta, one friend gave me the advice. He said, okay, find a simple name that you can use there so people will not struggle with their name. So I adopted Meg when I was in Malta, and it worked really well. So I just left there. And when we went to Australia, the first day at class, and they were checking presence in class, or who is Marley, and they couldn't say Marley. And I said, oh, I need to explain my name all the time, right? So the first day in class, I decided to adopt Meg as well. And I said, okay, every time that someone asks my name, I will say Meg because it makes easier for them. And it is true. Make it easier for them. Just little people ask me Meg. Sometimes people call me Mel, but most of people get straight away Meg, Meg, Meg. But Marley, nobody can say, and they want to say Marley, and then they start asking many questions about the name. So I decide to simplify. And when we returned to Brazil, actually, I was thinking about it, and I said, "Oh, after 8 years, I cannot see myself as Marley or Marley again." Obviously, our families call me Marley. Our old friends also do it, but we had a project in Australia for Meg and Vlad that we were working in that project, and we want to work in this same project here in Brazil. So we decided that Vlad and Meg works better for the project that we have. So we said, okay, let's keep Meg for all the new friends, new people that we meet, and Marley will be only with the old people, only for
Families,
and
close
legal
friends.
things, documents, and things like that.
Yeah, but that's the thing. So my name is easier answer like this. The short for Vladimir, which is I think the only struggle I had in Australia was because we say Vlad. It
Vlad.
sounds like a G. And I remember first time I said my name in the first company I was working for, and the guy wrote down with a G at the end. I was like, no, it's not G, it's D for diamond. And he was like, oh, because you said Vlad. Right. Oh my
Our
God.
accents.
And then I said, because they say Vlad. And then I was like, okay, come Vlad, and I'll be glad. So I was like kind of but we have a lot of Asians there, like Japanese and Chinese, and they will say Buraj. That's
Wow.
Yeah. Good. Really
yeah,
interesting. This question came out to be actually very good to get to know
And
this
then
from. Yes.
and with those simple things, we learn a lot about our accent, right?
sure.
As he said, oh, Vladi. We say that a lot in Brazil. So we start correcting our pronunciation as well because they said, oh, this is not the way that we say.
Mine is still
Yeah,
very
but
very
yeah, but we need to be careful with the D at the end, Vlad,
yeah.
Vlad. And you learn a lot from the simple things. Yeah.
Yeah, sure thing. Thank you
Vinny,
for
it
the
was a
question.
great question, actually.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Heider, he's also ready with a question.
Thank you, Simone. Hello, Maggie. Hello, Vlad. My
Hello,
question
Ibrahim.
will be about your English experience. All right. So, first, I invite you to think about the times when you are when you were, sorry, um, beginner learning, beginner study English. All right, the time when your English was practically zero. All right, so looking back, what would you do different to learn English more efficient?
Good question. I think, as I was saying before, when you go to a traditional language school in Brazil, most of them try to teach you grammar, right? So I never participate in a group like this one, when you can really force yourself to speak or when you force yourself to listen. My listen was really bad, really bad. So something that I did when I was there already studying that helped me a lot. I got a TED talk in YouTube. So I was listening to the TED talk, I think 40 minutes TED talk. And if I was just listening, I could never understand really well. At that stage, you could never change the speed of the video. So you need to really listen as they were saying. So what I did, I did an experiment and it worked really well for me. I got my notebook and I started writing everything that I was listening in the podcast, in the TED Talk. So I was listening, pausing, and writing. And then sometimes I could not understand what they were saying, but then I kept doing that. And then I did again, filling the gaps with the words and then I learned so many new words, many new sounds with that exercise. It helped me a lot to learn new sounds, new words, and it kind of forced my ears to really hear better. It was a nice experience because I noticed that after that experience, my listening started improving. So we were watching videos and films, Netflix, everything in English with the subtitles in English as well. So if you couldn't not pick the word by listening, we are picking the word by reading, and then we stop the video and then learn the word, and then search. So we kind of force ourselves to listen more. So for me, this is my experience. So I would do it different at the beginning because I was just learning grammar and speaking in class, but it was really basic. It wasn't real life, right? So it's really good now. I see how important it is to be in a group like this one, English Brazil, to have other people around us and we can listen and talk. We are forced to talk. I think it's really good. So we need to force ourselves to talk.
I think my experience was because I hadn't English kind of at all. I said at all, but I knew a lot of words. I have a kind of a vocabulary, but I didn't know what to do with the words. So that's you don't
Do
make
much.
anything out of it. So and my experience was. And it's hard if you're not abroad. So let's say you're here in Brazil. So that's the kind of thing you're doing now. That's very good because you're listening to other people. You're trying to correct yourself the way you're saying something, and everyone it's helping. That's the way it goes. I think I would be careful with apps. Let's say you have an app that you learn vocabulary. So keep in your mind that app is good for vocabulary, not for speaking or listen. So try to and also like today
You read a lot.
Hmm?
And you read a lot.
Yeah. So my experience was I was driving every day around 40 minutes. So I was always listening to the radio. Doesn't matter if at the beginning I wasn't understand 100%, I was like 30%, doesn't matter. I was listening and reading. I read in a space of like 3 years. I think I read 12, more than 12 books just in my lunchtime. I had like half an hour. I always went to a kebab shop. I got some kilos, extra kilos for that, but they had a bookshelf, so I was reading the books. Doesn't matter what book it was. That I was just trying to reading and get more words. I was like write down the word I couldn't understand, and you try to every word that you don't get. I don't know which means what that means. So try to put on your day. Try to fit in a sentence. So you're going to improve. You when you realize you know the word that come to your mind. I know that word. But if you don't use that, if you keep the simple sentence, you don't grow on your speaking or listen. So right now I'm listening to podcasts and I put in 1.5 like the speed. So that, and I had a very bad listen at the beginning. I couldn't get a thing out of it. My goodness. So yeah, and if you're abroad, that's what we say. Like get along with the locals. That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
Good
you.
answer. I love it. Because it's important for me listen the other experience. All right. Okay,
Yeah,
thank
that's
you.
thank you.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
All right, I also have a question. Actually, I'd like to say that from what I understand, it seems that you guys are very close, really a nice couple. And I think that the reason why it became so close is because you spent all your time together. You didn't have anybody else to rely to. You know, when you get married, you have your sister, or you have your mother, you have your friends. You're just gonna go complain about your spouse. Oh, he's doing this, he's doing that. You didn't have that. So you have to be together, and that's the best. That's that's pretty much what my husband and I did when we came here because we were working on a cruise ship. He had lost many contacts and I didn't know anybody here. So when we moved here, we just had each other. And that's all you have. You have the two of you and you have to go further, right? Anyhow, the
Yes.
question that I have for you, it's like now that you have a long experience abroad, because some people they go for 2 months, 3 months, 8 years, it's a lot, and you are already endowed, so you knew exactly how to act and how to behave and how to go with things, right? So now back in Brazil, if you could put two things, the best thing together to say, okay, this would be the perfect life that I could have, getting that from Australia and getting that from Brazil. How would be your life if you
Ooh.
could choose, If you could say like, I love this about Brazil and I love this about Australia, and that's how I'd like to live. Of course, you cannot have everything in life, but that's something that if you could, what would you do with this from Australia and from
The
Brazil?
best of Australia and the
And the
best
best
of
of Brazil.
Brazil. For me, the lifestyle in Australia is just perfect. So the the place where we lived was super close to the beach, and we love the ocean. We love to do everything in water and everything. So having that lifestyle when we can, for example, at the end of the day, at the end of the work day, like let's say 5 p.m., sometimes he just called me, I'm going to pick you up. Let's go to see the sunset in the beach. So instead of going home or crossing the city and spending 2 hours driving to get home, like here in São Paulo, we can just after work relax walking by the beach and seeing the sunset. And that was so relaxing. And so that lifestyle and doing this in a place where we don't feel where you feel safety. So we don't feel like someone will steal your mobile phone or whatever. You just can walk. And so the Australian lifestyle, they are more relaxed with life. The way that they see work is different from someone is living in São Paulo. Here in Brazil, we work too hard. Especially in São Paulo, you just work. We don't do anything else, you just work. So, for example, when I was working here before going to Australia, I was getting sick because I used to work until 8, 9 p.m. every single day, or even bring work to home and thinking about work on the weekend or traveling a lot. And I didn't have time to have a routine or something for myself. And it was so, I think it's not good for anybody. And I want to have like many weekends traveling in São Paulo. I want to have my holidays. I was just working 6 months thinking about my next holidays and having like 1 week holiday and working 6 more months and always thinking about my holidays. In Australia, because you're more relaxed every single day and we have this, your weekend is just nice. If you go to a cafe, you can see birds around you and nice nature and everything. So we feel relaxed every single day. We don't need like having 1 week break to have holidays. You know, I didn't feel that need a lot because in a daily basis, you are already relaxing. So that lifestyle for me in Australia is just amazing. I think about Brazil, I would say food. We are really good in food here in Brazil. Australia, not that good. This is what I will get. So Australia lifestyle, Brazil food. I think this is
for me, it's so yeah. The safety from Australia is that you can do pretty much everything without worry about to be stopped or killed in a gunshot or things like that. That you're always like just this week we got we see on the news every time, but here in São Paulo is kind of another level of violence and crime. So that's the thing that Australia, that feeling of safety, that's the thing. But even I don't want to sound rude, but here in Brazil, I don't think we got the mindset that Brazilians have when they are abroad. The community, it's very united. Like, you don't see Australians doing what Brazilians do abroad. We have a big community, everyone help each other. What Brazilians don't do in Brazil.
They
pretty
do
much.
outside, yeah.
It's kind of everybody for themselves, so that they don't look. I would say, if you're living in Australia, you see that people are doing something, but they are thinking, "Oh, someone will come up, will use this facilities after me, so I'm gonna leave that clean and tied. So my neighbor will be upset if I raise the volume of my radio or TV, and if I do some noise after 10 p.m., which is not reasonable, I'll leave then rest because that's the time people will rest." So here in São Paulo, it's just crazy. We can't sleep pretty much because I don't know if you can hear, but there is a avenue just crossing front our building. It's so noisy, and it's kind of in Brazil. I don't know in Brazil, but São Paulo it looks like people don't care what they are gonna if what they're doing it's gonna affect the life of other people. So that's the thing. But when Brazilians are living
Education.
abroad, yeah, it's kind of education, yeah, respect. But
Yeah.
when Brazilians are living abroad, like the majority, most of them, they behave differently, which is like, okay,
Super
so
respectful and
why
caring for
not
each
to do
other.
that in Brazil? So if you can do, if you are able to, why not to? So that's, I think if you live in Brazil and you have at least a little bit more respect for
For
you
other
think
people.
about uh, your community. Uh, uh, it's pretty much like that. Every Australian know who runs the suburb, who runs the seat. They know the name, their phone number, their email address. So if something happened, oh, there is something wrong on my street, they know who to call, and they will come and fix
Straight
here
away. Yeah.
straight away. So here, I don't know who's the responsible for my neighborhood, my suburb. I have no idea. So I should know. That's the thing. So I think my attitude as a Brazilian should be different because it will reflect in everyone else. So sorry, I think I spoke too much about it.
No, but it was a very good answer. Actually, pretty much what I expected to hear. Brazil has good things, of course, but that's why if you combine both, you can have maybe the perfect life.
Yeah,
It's a utopia, but it's still something that it's nice to dream about, right?
that's
Okay,
it.
Heider is back. He has another question. Go ahead.
Okay, couple. Do you have a kid or kids? If yes, could you tell us about her, him, or them? If not, do you have a plan to have one?
Sorry, I cannot hear.
Kids.
I I don't
Because
know
you
if it's my
put on the other ear,
yeah.
other
Sorry,
side.
I couldn't hear you.
He asked if you have kids.
I don't have kids.
So we are on our second marriage. So
Both of us.
I got two kids
Okay.
from my first marriage. So I got 34 years old daughter who is married and plan to have a kid. So I may be a grandpa anytime soon. I'm not rushing, so I'll.
I think it's
And
beautiful.
my son is 24 now, so he is 24 years old. Yeah, we don't have plan to have other kids right now. We are okay. We are
Do
both
you have
55 years old.
you both have any plan to adopt one?
No, we
Not
don't.
really.
No.
We spoke
Okay.
about it at the beginning,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
then when you decide to go to Australia, everything
Okay.
changed because
yeah,
it wasn't possible at that stage, and then
Yeah.
it just postponed. And
yeah. If you hadn't went to Australia, so
if you're living in Brazil
in
since
Brazil,
the
yeah,
beginning, probably
that
we would
was
be
a
adopted.
possibility at
Yeah,
the beginning.
yeah.
Now it's like, nah.
Okay. Yeah.
No. We can be
Thank you.
grandpa and grandma, but not.
Yeah. Say,
Thank you.
Okay,
Welcome.
Vini.
Yeah, a lot to say again. Oh my God. Then I think my question, yes, I have a good one. How old were you when you went to Australia? Why Australia, Meg or Marley? Why Australia? I don't know, like because you have another countries that you said you studied English, so probably you would like to use the English you were, trying to understand. So you have Canada, New Zealand, other countries.
Yes.
And I want to listen about your trips, experiences there in Australia. Did you go to
wow.
Tasmania? Did you
Yeah,
go
Yes.
we
sailing?
did.
Yes. Okay, tell us about. And then again, how old were you? How old were you? Yes, that's what I want to know.
Okay, you need to start again.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
We were 44,
45.
44 to 45 years old when we went to
Now we
Australia.
are 45 already.
Now we are
Actually, you were
we were 40,
46.
we were 46.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know. Sorry, guys. Whatever. 40, more than 40. Yeah, and this is something a little bit different because most of people when they go abroad they are young, right? They are on their 20s and
Yeah.
exploring other countries. Yes, for us was a bit different. Vlad became a dad very young, so he couldn't never had that experience when he was young. And in my case also when I was 20, I thought about going to England or other countries like that, but life just took another yeah. So we would not. So we were already like almost middle age couple. And why Australia? So I was the one that had the plan. So I'll answer that. Pretty much because of the weather, similar to Brazil.
Very similar.
When I thought about Canada, too cold. Any other country in Europe, I thought the same, or maybe it's too cold. I love summer. So when you thought about Australia, yes, they had cold weather there. They have the winter is not that easy, but Gold Coast, the city where we were living, it's pretty much sunny the whole year, right? The temperature is similar to São Paulo. When you get winter, it's winter, 10 degrees, 7 degrees. But here in São Paulo, for example, it's super gray. Some days it's gray. There is no, it's not sunny. But Gold Coast was sunny pretty much, I don't know, 300 days a year. It's really sunny city. So Gold Coast was a choice because of that lifestyle. The beach would be close to us, and we wanted to have this kind of experience.
Yeah. And we travel,
Yeah.
we traveled a little bit over there. So we went to Tasmania. The funny thing is, we planned to go to South in the summer. So we went to spend Christmas week in Tasmania because we'd say, okay, so the weather would be 30 degrees, the maximum. And bah! Christmas Eve was 8 degrees. So it was very cold night. Yeah, the whole week wasn't that hot. It was like 15, 16.
15, 16,
We
11.
left kind of a Friday, and the Saturday I checked the temperature and it was 30. I was like, what the?
The forecast was
We missed-
33 degrees on
I
Saturday.
waited so long to go there. When I went there, I
It's
missed
just
the
cold.
temperature for 1 week. So I
Yeah.
was like,
But Tasmania is beautiful.
it's amazing.
It's amazing. We couldn't go to New Zealand, but they say Tasmania is super
It's
similar
very
to
similar
a lot
to,
of
yeah.
amazing mountains and lakes, and it's really cute.
Yeah, and when you have, so when you were sure that we are coming back, which was beginning of last year,
Yeah.
so we planned to do a month trip. We went to North Side to Cairns by cruise.
Yeah.
So we got a week or so in a cruise going north, like going to some like
We got Tasmania.
yeah, Tasmania is so.
Tasmania is beautiful.
We were there.
Yeah.
That. Oh yeah, we saw the devil.
We saw the devil.
Tasman. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a small.
It's small.
But yeah, they are crazy. I got
They were fighting
a
actually.
record them fight was
Two of them
crazy.
fighting. Was
Crazy.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
So Tasmania was a nice place, and when you see the map and you see how far Tasmania is from everything.
Oh, see the picture that he's open mouth, he's screaming. It's
yeah.
whoa.
Yeah.
Freaking.
Yeah, if you go, you can see how close it is from
Melbourne.
No,
from New Zealand.
New Zealand,
which is just beside there.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, where was Gold City and Gold Coast? Gold City.
Gold Coast is on
just
the
north side. You go past Sydney, keep going on the left side. Yeah.
Okay, search out.
Gold Coast, that's it. Very north, that's it. And you go. The biggest city will be Brisbane, which is just the next one on the north. But Gold Coast is the
border between the two states.
Yeah.
So we got Queensland.
Is the first state. Is the first city on Queensland with which is pretty much kind of the same size of the whole
this
state.
Burley Head. Skip that.
It's our
Our
favorite
favorite beach.
Yeah.
Burley Head is
we
big.
had what we call marriage time. So every week we had a time like 2-3 hours that is gonna be just for us. So we don't
Walking
talk
by the
about
beach.
anything else. It's just for us to think to speak our hearts. Pretty much. You can cry, we can laugh, but it's
Yeah.
our time. So we did that every Saturday on that beach.
On that beach, Burley. And talking about trips, I had a nice experience because I don't know if you guys know, the middle of Australia is pretty much empty. It's desert. We don't have people pretty much living there. So when you see, I had the experience of working in a place called Birdsville. Birdsville, it's like
yeah.
in the middle of Australia. It's nice to see.
Birdsville, yeah, that one.
That one. So I traveled from Brisbane to Birdsville by plane. There is nothing in the city. Keep this picture of this hotel. This is a hotel and a bar. So once a year, they have a festival in the city, and people all around Australia come to this place. So I was during 12 days in this hotel working as a bartender, serving beers and everything to people. But you can see how empty is this place. It's totally crowded because people from all around Australia once a year come to this festival, and they have races, horse races, and they come to just watch the races. So they hire people from all around Australia to work in that hotel to serve beer and serve food to people, and get super, super, super crowd. But you can see around that, but there is nothing. It's a desert. There is nothing. It was 33 degrees during the day and 11 degrees at night. It was
And what is
September.
the name of the festival? I
Sorry?
remember. What was the name of the festival?
Oh, it's the horse
Birdsville
races.
race
Birdsville race course,
okay.
something like that. So people come from all around Australia with their motorhomes, and they stay in the motorhomes because the
nice.
hotel has only 100 and something spots, and they use the hotel for the staff, not for for people that are coming to see. I think if you put a horse course or something, there is nothing pretty much in the city. So there is a sign when you come to the city, when you are getting the city, and they say the population is 137 people living in the city. And then they say more or less 7,000, because when it comes to the festival, it goes to 7,000. So it's really typical.
Oh, here you go.
You can see
I
that.
think it's that one, isn't it?
Oh, that's
Yeah.
the one, 115. You can see the sign.
Yeah, that's it. More or less 7,000.
I am not lying.
Yeah, that's it.
Because when people come from all around Australia, so it's something, they have kind of a route. So they come from the south, and people with their motorhomes, they stop in other bars that they have around this course, and they stop in the bars, and then they come. So yes, this is the thing. And all the beer cans go to the street. It's like you can see the floor. There is a lot of yeah.
Oh,
They just threw. This is part of the tradition.
The weird thing on that, some people after get drunk, they start to drink from their boots, like
It's horrible.
They take the shoes. Yeah,
I saw this with my eyes. I couldn't believe.
Oh,
They told me, and I couldn't believe. But it's something really traditional.
It's cultural. Yeah,
it's cultural.
Just for fun.
Yeah, this is the hotel with many people around. Yeah, so in terms of trips, we had nice experience.
Yeah, but we did that cruise to the north, south,
to Cairns. Have you heard about the Great Barrier Reef? Great Barrier Reef. That's the biggest
Oh,
barrier
yes.
reef in the world.
Yeah,
So
so
we had the opportunity to travel.
snorkeling there.
Yeah. Yeah, in Cairns.
And if you search for a place called Whitehaven, Whitehaven Beach, it's just unbelievable white. The sand is so white.
It's so white.
Yeah, see
this
that?
Is the place.
It's incredible.
So this is the thing. We came to Brazil on 20th of June, but we left our house on the 22nd of May. So during 1 month, we just traveling around. Just traveling around Australia. So we had that cruise.
Yeah, when the cruise came back, we got
a road trip.
We got a road trip, so we hiring
a
motorhome, like a big van, and we are stopping by most of the cities going down to Sydney. So it was like 5 nights.
Yeah.
On that course, like going down. In Sydney, we had some friends, so we spent some time with them. Then we fly to Melbourne, and we travel around. We went to
Great Ocean
Road, which is amazing. The 12 Apostles, like a place to
go.
Don't miss when you're going to Melbourne. South Bank, the colorful house on the beach. That thing, yeah. We did all of that. We had the experience of the Melbourne Library, which is huge.
Yeah, Melbourne Library is
amazing thing. Yeah.
But as I said, we didn't have holidays many times because we didn't feel that we needed like spend 20 days traveling because our daily basis we had a lot of refreshing and and then it was amazing. So we had small trips during most of the time that we were there, just weekends.
I think the good thing of living Gold Coast that you are in a city that you go, depending where you're living, walking to the beach, and if you want to go in the winter, the mountains is just half an hour. So you go to the mountains and it's gonna be
30 minutes.
Yeah, you got everything you need pretty much in terms of
nature and everything.
Yeah, entertainment. Yeah.
Wow, guys. You see, time just flew by. 1 hour is just it's unbelievable.
Amazing.
I hope that you guys are going to do something about your experience to also help Brazilians who'd like to go to Australia. Maybe you can do something with some universities because nowadays there's so many contracts between universities, and maybe you can give some talks like that to students, Brazilian students who want to go to Australia or vice versa. It's just so amazing to listen to you. I mean, it's still so fresh in your mind. So just don't lose that. It's so nice to listen to you.
Yeah, I take your advice.
Thank you so much for your time, for being here,
Thank you,
for
guys.
sharing everything with us.
It was such a pleasure being here again.
Sure thing.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
And I hope everybody had the experience to go abroad one day and have the experience in another country.
Yeah.
I think it's something that works. I think the best money that you can spend is
Traveling for sure.
right?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I think we're all gonna have to agree with that. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
guys, for being here.
See you
Have a
guys.
lovely weekend.
Have a great
Thank
week.
you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
thank you.